Hello and welcome back. Today I will tell you about history of oil, how our ancestors found it, produced it and used it. Let's go. 4,000 years before the Common Era, people already used oil for construction works, at war, for heat and light, and for medical purposes. The most ancient oil fields were along the Euphrates in Kerch and Sichuan province of China. Oil is mentioned in many ancient sources. For instance, the Bible mentions tar pits around the Dead Sea. There are supporting authorities stating that bitumen was used to waterproof the basket the baby Moses was found, and tar Noah's Ark both on the inside and outside. Burning oil and gas springs are sacred in Zoroastrianism, which is one of the world's most ancient religions. The tradition to burn the eternal flame to honor those fallen in wars is still alive today. First, coal and then natural hydrocarbons, that is oil and natural gas, played an important part in turning our civilization from an agricultural into an industrial one. Industry started using petroleum in late 18th, early 19th centuries. That is about 200 years ago. Then James Watt built the steam engine, and then Robert Fulton built the steamboat, and George Stephenson built the steam locomotive. Funny enough, these first steam vessels used petroleum not for fuel, but as a lubricant for their numerous moving parts. Oil was gathered from pits and water surface. That was not much, but that was enough, as oil initially was used in the industry as a means to overcome forces of friction, that is, as a lubricant. Back then, whale oil was used to light the streets of cities. However, whale hunters were not able to produce enough whale oil, so a new source of energy was required. The breakthrough came then Ignacy Lukasiewicz and Jan Zech, two drugstore owners from Lviv, invented the first kerosene lamp in 1853. Very soon this lamp was used for an emergency night operation in one of Lviv hospitals, which saved patients' lives. Soon, kerosene lamps became common in both streets and homes. Kerosene-powered life extended the daylight hours, giving people the opportunity to work more and better. So, oil gave people light. Kerosene manufactured from oil burned brightly and was safe, so global demand for kerosene was growing rapidly and people started looking for oil deposits. Edwin Drake was the first one to drill an oil well in 1859. Drake was lucky enough to drill right there. The petroleum-bearing formation was close to the surface, so his well produced the amount of oil what was considered enormous at the time. Numerous oil companies were founded, ruined, merged, and taken over. Competitive fighting was ferocious, as oil was an opportunity to make serious money. First, refineries appeared and started evolving. Besides kerosene, the industry produced machine oil and fuel oil, which was used to power engines. When Gottlieb Daimler built a light, compact gasoline engine that Carl Benz used on automobile and the Wright brothers on an airplane, demand for the gasoline spurred. But the real game changer was Henry Ford, who introduced conveyor belt assembly to automobile industry, starting the mass production of cars. A car was no longer a thing of luxury, but an affordable transport, a part of everyday life. We cannot pass by Rudolf Diesel, who built an internal combustion engine named after him. Diesel engines are still in use today. Internal combustion engines used on cars, planes, ships gave man ability to cover great distance fast, conquering land, air, and sea. In the middle of the 19th century, global oil production leaders were the United States of America and Russia, with top production in Pennsylvania and Baku, respectively. In 1850, 300,000 tons of oil were produced in the world, with Russia bringing 101,000 tons. That was the age of rapid industrial development. In the United States, John Rockefeller founded Standard Oil, world's first vertically integrated company. In Russia, the Noble brothers built their own oil empire and thought Rockefeller for the European markets. This tough competition required engineering knowledge, so new technologies started emerging. Great demand for the metal pushed steel making. Development of other industries accelerated as well. Thus, oil industry became the engine of progress. By 1900, global annual oil production grew to about 20 million tons, with 9.9 million tons produced in Russia, 8.3 million tons in the USA, 0.43 million tons in Indonesia. Back then it was called Dutch East Indies. Romania and Austria-Hungary produced 1/3 tons each. Japan produced 100,000 tons and Germany 100,000. Oil became a strategic resource as it gave armies speed and mobility. Military automobiles, planes, tanks, and APCs were built by thousands. Diesel-powered battleships were more efficient than coal-fired ones. After World War I, it became clear that control of oil was vital for national security, so politics came into play as well. Oil became the guarantor of security. Just before World War I, oil production in the USA grew rapidly, and World War II also taught us that powers that control oil win wars. In the 1940s, new petroleum products came to be. These were synthetic materials such as nylon and polyethylene. This industry was booming, so the oil became a source of plastics for us. Today, we cannot imagine our life without petrochemical products such as synthetic fabrics, utensils, household goods, etc. Today, the global distribution of oil production looks like this. Russia in the third with 10,853,000 barrels per day. From the chart, you can see that Russian oil production grew over the years, bringing oil dollars to national economy. Yet, 2014, with oil price collapse followed by ruble weakening, showed that Russian economy depends on global oil prices too much. Saudi Arabia is the second, with daily 11,624,000 barrels. And the first place, quite expectedly, is occupied by the United States, which produced 13,973,000 barrels per day. It needs to be mentioned that the United States played a major role in the 2014 oil price collapse, as it boosted domestic oil production and created a large national pool of petroleum products, becoming less dependent on oil import. Financial analysts like Bloomberg remark that now the USA does not need to buy that much oil from Russia, Nigeria, and Venezuela. This is what I wanted to tell you about oil production history. In our next video, we will discuss a more current topic, which is oil pricing. See you!